Okay, I thought this video was actually going to have a decent length, but it's just 9 minutes because, I thought that this video was like 2.5 hours long, which it was, and then I checked it out and it was actually like half an hour of just completely me doing nothing, so, I think I actually kept it recording when I was going to have dinner or something like that. In any case, it suddenly turned out to be a lot shorter than I expected, so I'm sorry about that. That being said though, I still find many discussions on many of the videos asking if I want to make these videos longer or how it even works. I might actually make a separate video on that to just explain the entire Let's Play thing, but usually 10 minutes of Let's Play is 2 hours of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and 2 hours of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 is a perfect time scale to be streaming or playing on myself, and trying to get longer sessions is a bit tough. And otherwise, recording in shorter sections and then time-lapsing those shorter sections is not very handy and doesn't really work for me. So that's why I aim to go for about 10 minutes per Let's Play, but getting Let's Plays that are under 9 minutes long is actually not my aim, so that's kind of that. Another thing is that in this episode I'm doing a train station, which is pretty much the thing that's going down. I actually did have a lot of very specific episodes lately, which is awesome, because I like that, but that does mean that in the future I'm actually gonna have to do some more smaller details and stuff again, because after the clock tower was finished, I didn't do anything on the facades that are going to be surrounding it, or the pathworks, or anything else than the clock tower itself, and the same is going to go for this station. Also, it did feature quite a lot of just me trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the station. The idea that I had in mind, really, the toughest thing that I had for this station was to translate the image that I had in my mind into a building in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, which was due to not entirely knowing how I should do it, and not entirely knowing what custom scenery I should use for it, so there's quite a bit of removing things and kind of changing things a tiny bit. But I do think that in the end it did come out alright. So the basic idea over here was basically to get a very small English sort of small station that you would have on a train station, which is quite a rare thing on its own. There were a couple of other ideas that I had considered, such as a factory industrial sort of setting for the station, or to get a larger building in, but I wanted to do a station, a real train station for a coaster station, because even though it seems like something that really does not happen and it's very unorthodox, I felt like it was something that I didn't have in the English area yet, and it was something that I figured would be enough of a recognizable English theme, and something that I could pull off well, that I wanted to get it in there. So yeah, that's basically it. Small English train station house, and then have that sort of, I don't know what it's called entirely, but usually, you know, when you have those train stations and it's just one small house, you have that very small roof with Victorian pillars and fences and decorations that covers the, well, train track and stuff. So I wanted to get that in here. The only real downside to this is that the exit part of the track is outdoors, so not the greatest thing when it's raining, but at least the entrance part is within a building, because the part that I'm currently building with this building over here is where I'll have the station gates, and which is where the queue should come out, and then on the other side, which is just going to stay open and not really have anything else, I'm going to have the exit of the station. And that's basically how it works. I did find it quite funny though at the time that I was trying to get that real English look, so I searched through sets that I thought had the English look going for them, which many of them did, to be quite honest. Really good textures and custom scenery pieces that I could work with, but they didn't really work together too well. The Country Inn set was a set which I do like, but it didn't really work for whatever reason it actually was. I think there were certain problems with it not sticking out enough, not having the right roofs. And eventually the set that I ended up using for the entire building, so this means the walls, the roofs, and the dormers, is Ralphie's American Beaver Homes. So yeah, it's an English train station, but I'm using American suburb house custom scenery sets. So I probably should not have set that, because that might just destroy the magic, but that's how it is. I just found that quite funny in hindsight, how I was actually searching through all kinds of stuff for about 30 to 40 minutes, trying to get the things that I really wanted right, and in the end ended up going with the thing that I last expected to go for. Was quite funny, which also results in the end in a train station that is actually really quite simple but that I still spent quite some time on trying to perfect and things. But yeah, this is basically what I meant with that sort of overhanging roof with Victorian posts and all that stuff. And the reason why I wanted to do this as well is that I would have liked to get the very typical train station arches in the way that I had them for the train station in the Dutch area. But I already had that in the train station for the Dutch area, so if it were not for that fact, I probably would have tried them over here as well, but I didn't want to have a similar or pretty much the exact same train station very close to two different things, so yeah, I just decided to try this instead. And I do think it kind of works. I do see it kind of happening over here. The only thing that I am still not too sure about is whether it could actually be realistic enough for a B&M coaster station, because it really is a train station after all, and it's not entirely a, well, coaster station. I think it's doing the job well enough, plus the fact that it does actually provide a pretty nice view, I think. That's something that I also really wanted to keep in mind, and that is also the reason why it might seem a bit of a weird location next to the lift hill over there. I wanted to make sure that it would look good if you were going to approach it from the rest of the path. And since you approach this area from the other side of the Dutch train station, kind of from the general direction of the English area, I wanted this building to look good from that direction. I actually did not care too much about the other directions, which also made it in a way that, you know, it doesn't look too good from other directions, but on the other side there is the roller coaster, so you wouldn't really see it too much from that side. And that's something that I always try to keep in mind, that a building should look good from one particular or two particular perspectives. And this is especially true in theme parks. You really don't even have to care that much about the particular perspectives. Make sure that you build a building in a way that it looks in a way that you want it from one angle, and just forget about the rest. You can do that later on, which is also kind of what happened with this building. You can see it, kind of recognize it, because I only finished the backside of the building at the end, really. After the front was finished and I was happy about that, I went over to the backside just to kind of finish that and make it realistic, but it's really not that important for the overall design of this thing. So that's why I kind of was a bit sloppy also on the back. I really don't care too much about the back. I know it sounds really bad to say that, but it's really not too important for me how the back of the building looks, since you're just not going to really see it. And yeah, that's basically my story of perspectives and why I give shits about the fronts of buildings sometimes, but I don't give shits about the backs of buildings sometimes. That being said, this does not count if you have a building that can be surrounded by paths or any sort of viewing point from all angles. Make sure that actually looks good from every angle, and don't just sloppily, quickly do the other sides of the buildings without care. But if you have buildings like these that are kind of placed towards the edge of a park and you can't really see them from other perspectives, I like to just be a lazy douchebag and just not care about the backside of the building. I think it's alright. But yeah, I think I'm running out of time, almost. The one last thing that I was still doing over here was doing the little exit path, which is really just to get down from the little platform that the station is on. But it's really not that special. I might actually look at it later on. The only reason why I did it this awkwardly is because there are no inclined, curved railings, so I had to get stone. But in any case, that's it for this episode. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Auf Wiedersehen.